I'm impressed with how quickly she popped back.
Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston salute new Fever teammates' defensive commitment. The Indiana Fever are currently facing off against the Washington Mystics in a game that some Fever fans were feeling concerned about, largely because the Mystics beat the Fever in a game last week. And concern was heightened for Indiana fans during this game because the team is extremely short-handed when it comes to the guard position. Both Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are currently out with injuries. And backup point guard Sydney Colson was also dealing with her own ailment before ultimately being deemed active for Tuesday's game. As a result of these injuries, the Fever signed Barry McDonald to an emergency hardship exception contract on June 2nd. Fever head coach Stephanie White made it clear when speaking with the media on Monday that McDonald would be getting playing time against Washington, despite only being with the team for a day. And McDonald has made the most out of her opportunity, especially on the defensive end of the floor. At one point in the game, McDonald drew a charge call on Mystics guard Brittany Sykes. And right afterward, Clark and Aliyah Boston had a hilarious reaction where they pointed off in the distance and saluted. Clutch Points posted a video of this on X and wrote, "Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston's reaction after Ari McDonald drew this offensive foul." The Fever's social media team also added a post, writing, "Aliyah and Caitlin react to Ari McDonald's drawn charge." While it's unclear what exactly these two superstars were looking at, they were clearly hyped about McDonald's defensive contributions. With Caitlin Clark still out with an injury, and other players on the roster getting banged up, the Indiana Fever have added a guard to help. Indiana signed Barry McDonald Monday via an emergency hardship exception. The exception allows any WNBA team to sign a player immediately if it has less than 10 game-eligible players available at any time during the season. The signing comes as Clark remains sidelined due to a left quadriceps strain that was announced following the loss to the New York Liberty on May 25. The 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year will miss at least 2 weeks with her first possible game back on June 10 at the Atlanta Dream. Clark isn't the only injured player the Fever have. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were injured in the team's loss to Connecticut Sun on Friday, leaving Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull as the only healthy point guards for Indiana, paving the way for the Fever to sign McDonald. "When I got the call I was very excited, very blessed," McDonald said Monday. "It's a humbling experience to join a team like the Fever, and I'm excited, ready to compete and just win." What to know about Ari McDonald? McDonald burst onto the scene as a member of the Arizona Wildcats after starting her college career at Washington. She had a memorable senior season in Tucson as she was named Pac-12 Player of the Year and led Arizona to its first Final Four appearance in the 2021 NCAA tournament. The Wildcats advanced to the national championship and lost by 1 point to Stanford. She was drafted 3rd overall in the 2021 WNBA draft by the Atlanta Dream and was named to the WNBA All-Rookie team in her first season. McDonald played 3 seasons in Atlanta before she was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks prior to the 2024 season. She played in 26 games for Los Angeles and was released by the team before the start of the 2025 season. In 4 years in the league, McDonald has averaged 8.6 points, 2.8 assists and 2 rebounds per game. When do the Indiana Fever play next? The Indiana Fever host the Washington Mystics on Tuesday at 7 p.m. ET at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The game will be televised on NBA TV and can be streamed on WNBA League Pass, so if you want to support Caitlin, you have to support the league. She's a part of that ecosystem. She doesn't get to separate herself out, so that's one thing that doesn't add up to me. After Clark's injury, the Fever lost their following 2 matches, with Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham also out of action. However, Indiana snapped its losing streak by defeating the Washington Mystics 85-76 on Tuesday. Summarizing her thoughts on the reaction to Clark's injury, Bird said, "I've seen some stuff where it's like, people don't want to go because she's not playing, which is fair if that's who you want to see. But then, in some ways, I'm like, you're now doing a disservice to her because, for those who don't realize it, supporting the league is supporting Caitlin.